was talking about Carly. You asshole.
Hey, we were talking about Carly. And yeah, so that was Alexa talking about Carly, our wonderful player who's playing Evelina in Strixhaven. And I'm your DM for that game. Alexa's playing Astrid. We also have Dylan playing Ryza and Deja playing Kaerthana. I almost said Kaerthana playing Deja. But I literally said we were going live right then. So I don't really. That one's on you. I kind of love it.
Easier to blame you.
Well, yeah, I also probably should just unmute you guys after we transition. Which that's from now on I'll maybe remember that. Probably won't. Last session, we only had 3 players, so we did a flashback to some shenanigans that happened in the school library. The players got sucked into kind of a mildly sociopathic book that tormented them a bit and then ended up being locked away in the restricted section again after the party essentially exhausted it. But that was just, the daily struggles of working in the library for Evelina, Imagine, and then, of course, Astrid just being an elf who only needs 4 hours of sleep, milling about, seeing what their friends are doing. And yeah. So that happened, but before that, we were venturing into Ensara. Ensara is the land mainly dominated by humans. It is a interesting area. Alia? What is? You're doing great. I'm having an English. But the area has seen better times as there's kind of a vampire army marching on it. You guys are kind of about this continent follows the coast. You guys are about in like the second quarter of the nation, working your way up, if that makes any sense. The bottom section is where everyone is kind of fled. You guys are right on the town that is kind of the edge of where people have fled. About a day or so north from here is the front, where they are directly combating the vampires. You know that one of the 5, or it's 4, but 5 including the sister, generals is on the front, and the 2 people who stayed in this town directed you in that, direction. You guys rested for the evening before they sort of bid you farewell and sent you on your way. Is there anything you guys would like to do in this town or with Eloise and Mon before you guys head out? If not, we can get on the road and start heading to the front.
Is that a short rest then?
A long rest. You guys got a long rest.
Fancy.
Yeah. Or I guess short rest, yeah, because you guys...
it's too late. It's too late.
You're fine. You
said it. Let it happen.
You guys would have rolled on... I forgot you got to this town early in the morning. So you guys probably ate breakfast-ish / lunch with them and then rolled on. Because I already let you do a long rest, you're not going to have any more encounters for today. But you guys are camping in the middle of this region has become a lot more forested as you guys have moved. You guys are where is the forest art? Let me double check. I really need to delete previously used maps that I'm never going to use again.
You mean like the llama map?
Wise idea.
Yeah, like the llama map that is still there. Yeah.
Oh no.
Here, I will bring us back to this. I mean, it's a new forest, but
well,
you guys are.
Look as nice.
I know, it really doesn't. I forgot I can collapse that. You guys are bumping along. let's do our rest, shall we? So you guys took your long rest, but your watch is Alexa, or not Alexa, Astrin, for half of it, and then the other half would have been Syntax and just other people balanced around. For now, if you guys are okay with it, let's say 2 of you are on first rest with first rest, 2 of you are on second rest, and we'll just call it that. Astrin has been claiming first watch, so who would like to be on first watch with Astrin? Cool, Kaerthana is gonna chill with Astrin. This is also a great time to do scenes amongst each other. I'm gonna keep us moving, but if you guys want to do any scenes, please, by all means, interrupt me, and we can. I just am, travel is fun, but also can take forever if, Okay, can I have both of you guys roll D100, just one D100 from you guys first.
Deja, do you want to do it?
Sure.
What if you both throw 2 D10s?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how the math works.
Right? Wasn't it you rolled 2 D10s? One's the percentile, one's the...
Yeah, it is. 22, cool. You guys, the forest is a lot noisier than the plains you guys were in earlier. There's also not quite snow, but a bit of frost on the ground, as you guys can see. So nighttime, it gets below freezing. And Kaerthana, you're used to this kind of cold that just kind of bites. It's not snowy cold, but it still just has an edge to it that feels arguably malicious. This is the kind of cold that even without the snow will kill you with exposure. But yeah, you roll me perception checks, both Astrid and Kaerthana. Let's see if you can tune out some of the more noisier sounds of the forest. Cool. Kaerthana, you actually have advantage on this roll because this is your home.
Yeah.
And you live in a more rural area.
Well, it's
Cool. So a 12 and a 24. Kaerthana, you find yourself a bit more jumpy than perhaps you would be in the past. You know logically that all these sounds you're hearing are just the sounds of the forest, but that doesn't stop you from essentially going on high alert at every sound. There's a twig break, you go. Astrin, you're very you're keen. What do your elf eyes see? You see, sorry, Lord of the Rings.
No, you're right. I mean,
there's nothing out of the ordinary. You see a few creatures milling about. There's a raccoon at one point that just has a staring contest with you. Kaerthana is probably convinced that it's like a vampire spy.
Did I win?
And then eventually you're like, no, it's really just a raccoon. And then it was just a raccoon, and Kaerthana's never gonna mention this again.
But did I win?
I'll think about it a lot, though.
Did I win?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
The staring contest?
Oh, fuck. You know what? Fuck it. Roll me a d20. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna roll one too. Just a flat roll on 20.
Okay.
I have their roll.
This is so stupid.
It is, but this is the great things of D&D. You beat it. It rolled a 12. Congrats. You scared it away. Especially when the fly landed on your open eyeball, it decided that was not cool, and so it left.
That's the last straw.
Why?
Yeah, that was its last straw. It just noped on out.
Oh my god.
That didn't actually happen. I'm just having fun. But
This is what D&D is.
hell yeah. Yeah, the second watch. Roll me a D100, you guys.
For who?
Second watch. So Riza or Evelina.
Got it.
Whoa.
Wait-ka-cha!
Ka-chow.
63.
Kerchoo.
Ka-choo.
Cool.
Ka-choo.
Kerchoo.
I want now both of you guys to roll perception checks as well.
I'm using real dice, Emerson.
Go for it.
It's real dice.
Come on. You would think for being an bird.
Oh my god.
18. Dirty 18.
A dirty 18.
Sounds like a drink every time I hear it.
Yeah, really.
I wish. I should get one.
Can you imagine?
Imogen?
Where's the jug?
Where's the weak man?
Throw it out.
You hear about 2 hours into your watch, so about halfway through, probably at about 3 a.m., right? You guys can't help but overhear a haunting. I should say you guys. Riza, you can't help but overhear a haunting. It almost sounds like a melodic, just echoing wail coming from further in the forest. Do you point? It's cool because the music is low-key doing that. So,
Yeah, that was eerie.
yeah,
Nice.
so I'm totally down. This is great. I totally planned that. Yeah, do you point this out to Evelina?
Fuck yeah. Be
Okay.
like, Evelina,
Those
did you
are
hear
her
that?
sketchbooks. So like, she was in her sketchbook working on something. I was like, huh? What? Hear what?
You hear that?
As your attention is drawn to it, you do in fact hear it. At first, it sounds like the wind howling through some trees until you guys realize there's no wind. So you share a look of,
Oh dear.
but it still sounds far enough away that potentially you don't have to worry. Here's a good question. Did you guys keep the fire burning overnight? It is very cold. When I say fire burning, I mean the like embers to stay warm. Or did you fully smother it? This is a question for the whole group.
Yeah.
I feel like Kay would have suggested smothering it. I feel like she knows that there's some poopy shit in these woods.
That's
And she would
fair.
have said, everyone needs to bundle up, but we're not having a fire overnight.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry.
You still had the fire to cook and eat like warm food and all that, but yeah, you guys are absolutely in very thick sleeping bags. Again, you knew where you were going, so you do have the stuff for that, but it's not necessarily the most comfortable night, right? But you're fine without a fire. It's not so cold that like without a fire you're in trouble. Okay, cool. So both of you on watch have a feeling that if you guys are quiet, maybe whatever's making that noise won't know you're here.
Then question, because we had like didn't we have like a monsters class or something learning
You
about
did.
different could like
you-
we
Absolutely.
Like, those
Hell yeah. So this is where your student dice come in handy. So now to identify this creature, you guys are going to get a 1d4 added to your roll. So this is going to be an Arcana check or a History check, depending on the direction you want to go with this. Arcana, if you want to see, you know, what magical creatures make sounds like that. History, if you want to go with what types of creatures are in this area. Right, historically, what has been seen here. I'll also allow a nature check, sort of following that same role as the history, but it's between those three, I suppose. But again, you guys can make this roll and add a d4 to it because you took that class.
exactly.
Or anyone to roll?
Unfortunately, this is just Evelina and Ryza because the other two are asleep.
That's what I thought. Just wanted to check.
It's not so alarming
I'm
that
gonna-
sleeping, you'd think it's just the wind, right? But yeah, what did you roll? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna roll a history check for me.
Cool. And Carly, what is Evelina gonna roll?
They're both the same, but you know what? Let's go Arcana. Like,
Cool.
attack from two fronts.
Yeah, I feel like the
Whoa.
Arcana also matches Evie a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryza
Okay,
was
well-
a bit more.
What did Ryza roll?
Dirty 18.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm happy Lexi finally noticed it was Assassin's Creed Origins. When I put it in, I'm like, if only Alexa was online right now. It's such a vibe. It has such a good soundtrack.
It's one of my
That
favorite
game is just
soundtracks.
awesome.
Oh, it's so good. I'm like trying with all my might not to just use Bayek's theme for like any mildly intimidating person.
Do it.
Okay, but sorry. Dylan, what did you roll? My brain didn't hear you because I spoke over you. I'm sorry.
18.
Okay.
18.
You both rolled, and that's with the +4?
Yeah.
Cool. So you rolled very high. Evie crit and then rolled the max for the student die as well. So Evie knows exactly what the fuck this is.
31.
We're
We're total
but-
31.
31. Yeah, so I'm gonna give you like the stat block. But Ryza, you do also realize what this thing probably is. You rolled high enough to identify it, but I'm just giving it to Evelina because Evelina crit, right? But you realize it as Evelina kind of vocalizes it. You know, you can have that little moment of, oh, I knew that too. But
Totally missing that.
you recognize that as the distant wail of a banshee. A banshee is a chaotic. If alignments were a thing, they tend to be chaotic evil. They are ghosts that tend to hoard things that are beautiful. They are a woeful spirit formed from the spirit of typically a female elf. But its face is wreathed in a wild tangle of hair, and its body is clad in wispy rags that flutter and stream around it. It's essentially a forlorn dead screaming and spitefully in the distance. In general, they're known as elf remnants who, in life, were blessed with great beauty but failed to use their gifts to bring joy to the world. Instead, they use their beauty to corrupt and control others. Afflicted by the Banshee's curse, they experienced no gladness, feeling only distress at the presence of the living now that they're dead. They just can't really find happiness or beauty in anything, and so they tend to lash out at things that are beautiful. This, in other words, will actively target characters with higher charisma scores. Because in general, that means charisma's force of personality, and also it's the only way I can quantify looks. Right? But in general, they will actively target and like try to cut up people's faces and destroy things that are beautiful. They are not something you like running into. Because you crit, you know that they tend to be about a challenge rating 4. However, they tend to be alone. So you know that your group would be more than enough to handle one, but that doesn't mean that you necessarily want to have to handle it. Truth be told, you and Ryza alone could probably handle it, but it would be a very tough fight for just the two of you. But again, so long as you're quiet and you don't draw anything draw. Well, actually, quite literally, you don't draw anything. But as long as you don't do anything to draw attention to yourselves, such as big displays of beauty or niceness, or lighting a fire or anything like that, you'll be fine. They tend to haunt the same areas. And Ryza, you rolled a history check. Information you would get is that just in general, Ensara is, so this whole continent is the native home of Ilandara. Andara is Elvish for land of elves, pretty much. Ilandara means that. Ensara is the Elvish word for man. This continent, humans sailed from the west in time immemorial and conquered this continent, or at least this section of the continent, and that's why the elves called it Ensara. This is the oldest human civilization on this continent, or historically speaking. And so there are still remnants of elf-human conflict in these woods. And every once in a while, tensions are still a little high, as this was thousands and thousands of years ago, before even recorded history, before the calamity, before all of that. But elves still see this land as rightfully theirs, specifically high elves. So there is a little bit over the years, Ensara has sometimes been under elven control, sometimes been under human control. This is obviously a ghost from when it was under elven control. You don't know how long ago that was, as you're not a native of Ensara, but at least a couple hundred years. But yeah, they're not unheard of in this area, banshees. So yeah, congrats, there's some lore. But yeah, I'm assuming you guys don't make noise.
Right. He just closes their books like, nope.
Yeah, you do know that they do have a magical sort of ability to detect beauty and things people find beautiful. So you would know that it is probably not best to be drawing things right now. So you would probably close that up and be like, "Okay, we're just gonna sit here."
Like, this is just a small doodle, but we're gonna just be safe about it.
Yeah. So in other words, if there could be a ghost that would target Prismari, yeah. So congrats to like our whole
mirror out of
party.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a minute. This whole party right now is Prismari, ain't we?
Yeah.
Right now.
We're screwed, guys.
Yeah, it's great. But you guys are quiet enough. You didn't quite roll high enough on the random encounters for it to, no matter what, cross your path. And you guys did everything right. You don't have fires going. You put away things. After about another hour or so, the wailing grows quieter and quieter until you can't hear it anymore.
Well, that's scary, just sitting there for a whole hour.
Oh, yeah. It goes on a long time. It's
Slowly
unsettling. It's also probably a good mile or two away. It's probably decent ways away, but it's carrying on the air, on the wind. That isn't there. Yeah. But again, for those who are asleep, it just kind of sounds like the whistling of wind and that howl. But you're half asleep, so you're not awake enough to realize there is no wind. Following morning, you guys wake up to, whatever your breakfast is, your breakfast rations, some nice dried meats.
Delicious.
You quickly get on the road again. You know that you should be approaching the front around evening, around nightfall, if your pace is what you have been doing previously. You were given a map, so you don't need to roll anything to make it to the front lines. So as you're bumping and thumping along, you do notice a bit more signs of civilization. You're going through the forest mainly, but you'll pass little patches of tilled land, little areas that show that you not nearly as vast as the farmland you went through yesterday. but little pockets of civilization here and there. Arguably the term is hamlet, like village is arguably too large of a thing, right? It's the 5 houses, almost homesteady, right? Little things here and there. You also notice after about half day's ride, you happen to roll on past an inn that seems to actually be relatively open. It doesn't seem crowded, but you do see 2 horses tied up. That implies that some people are in there, and there is smoke coming from the smokestack, the chimney. Would you guys like to stop and check out this inn, or would you rather just be on your way, keep going?
I'm good to keep going, but I'm good with either.
Would we have a reason to stop?
No, I'm just saying that there is something here that for the first time you've seen a place that is specifically for visitors, right? You haven't seen anything welcoming the whole time you've been here.
But that was like general, like, do we want to, like, do we have a reason to stop? No, you're good, you're good, you're good.
What time is it when we arrive there?
It's probably very nearly noon.
Okay, good.
Okay, cool.
I think we should just money.
The inn does kind of mark the start of a little bit more inhabited area. As you're rolling forward, the forest gives way from the dense forestry that feels very wild to a little bit more of the tree patches type of forest. There's a little bit more hill and grassland connected to it. It's more of the area that no longer just seems creepy and seems more of like, oh, I see why people live here, right? Sure enough, there's little towns here and there, and these ones do seem to be inhabited. You see little cottages with smoke coming out of the chimneys. You see farmers tilling fields. But again, it's not hugely populated, but it's enough to know that there are people here. Noticeably, you don't see anyone who seems really armed. Everyone who's working seems definitely to be in the poorer classes. As you rumble along, going from sort of hamlet to hamlet along this road, you eventually pop out of the forest and notice that you're entering an area that has been specifically cleared. And sure enough, you see a walled city ahead of you. As you thump on into the city proper, it becomes clear that this is much more settled than the previous things you've seen. The streets are cobbled. It looks like there is possibly a sewer system. It's a lot more of a city, somewhere between a city and town, but definitely not the little cottage or villages you've passed so far. Caerthana, you would know this as the capital of this region. This is Edgewood. Edgewood, Hollandvale is technically within the Edgewood region, and this is the, it's the capital of this region. This is where the nobleman would live, but just like how Eloise was a nobleman in Hollandvale, it's very clear that it's not quite the castle on the hill type town as every other region seems to be. Sure enough, now that you're looking for it, the smoke that you originally thought was coming from the city seems to be coming from a few hills over in the distance. it's also clear that the smoke has a bit more of a black, sooty quality to it. More like the remnants of a battlefield than necessarily a town. So very clearly, there is fighting a good 15 miles away, let's say, over hills, close enough that you can see remnants of it. And the town is more abandoned than you would expect. Anyone who lived a life that could be picked up and moved, so essentially anyone who's not a farmer, seems to have kind of evacuated. The streets are mostly empty, save garrisons of knights, having commandeered the city as a new base of operations. Our artwork is in the middle of the night, but you guys are not quite arriving at night. There's also, like, ignore the fact that the artwork just has a ton of ghosts in it. That's not, that's yeah, we're gonna ignore the just mass amounts of ghosts.
It's just regular smoke.
Yeah, it's just regular smoke that you're just seeing people, just gaslight.
Don't gaslight me.
Are you gaslighting me?
Kaerthana, would you like to roll a, well, no, never mind. I already gave you information on the town. Fuck it. You can roll more if you'd like. History. Cool. Yeah, you don't know anything else in the town. It's you rolled a 4, but A for effort.
It's a town.
Yeah, Xanther's like, whoa, there's like no one
It's a
here.
town called Edgewood.
Yeah, it's a town called Edgewood. This is where wealthy people lived and craftsmen. Most of them are gone. Some of them remain, but those are mainly the ones who just refuse to leave. And important people who are there to support the war. You were told that the head of the Cathars is here, and that you guys could speak with her. Her name is Thalia. You have heard of her, at least in the past. She is nominally the person in charge of at least order in Insara. There's, of course, all of the other noblemen who are technically in charge, but if there's any kind of unifying force amongst them, it's the Cathars. I had her art uploaded, I thought, but now I can't find it because, of course. Why would it be
It don't
easy?
always be like that, but sometimes it do.
Yeah, why would it be easy? Okay, I guess I'm just re-uploading it. This is fine. That's fine. You guys start making your way toward where you've been told she would be. You get a few side eyes, but unlike the other town, people seem to mainly accept that you guys are here. Probably because you came from the other direction. And just in general, the sun's out and you're in the sun, which means you can't be a vampire.
Also, there's no one else in all the other places we've been, technically.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys work your way through the town. There is a large... hold on, sorry. I clicked something and my computer got mad at me because the file moved. What the hell?
How dare.
I replaced my SD card, and there's a... Not SD card, you know what I mean, my hard drive. And every once in a while, I'll get issues where I have to reassign a file pathway. Because, of course, there. Strangers from the outside. Okay, yeah. You guys make your way to the main central building, which is a very large Gothic church. The Cathars do consider themselves a religious order, but they also, first and foremost, their duty is to the people. As such, they have commandeered the church and turned it into their base of operations, much like how Holland Vale also had its church commandeered. As you guys approach, a guard stops you out front. State your business, he says in a low, rumbling voice. I have artwork for him, too, in a moment. Keep going. We can do the scene. We'll have art eventually. What the fuck? Where did he go? This one sucks because I literally was just on him and I was too dumb to pull him out. So I know I upload. Sorry, keep going.
We're here
state your
to
business.
meet with Thalia. We're here to meet with Thalia.
She's a busy woman. What is your reason for meeting with her?
Eloise sent us this way.
He seems to nod at that. Very well. Come on in. Just wait in the entry for a moment. He has you wait right in the entryway to the Gothic Cathedral. This is him. Again, ignore the pagan chanting in the background.
I love it. How
The king is one of the best parts.
It looks like a fun party.
Right.
It looks like a blast. What are you talking about?
It's such a mood. It really does.
Fuck it, Deja, let's go.
Wanna go?
I'll drive.
You guys wait a minute or two. Right when it kind of starts getting a little bit awkward, he returns. All right. Sorry for the delay. Come on. Again, he leads you into this cathedral, and the inside is quite striking. It's different than what you guys have seen before. There's no real art on the walls. There's no paint. Everything is just this cold stone that has a lot of vertical height despite the narrowness of the side walls. What light does come through is from some relatively mediocre stained glass windows. They're still impressive, but you guys honestly have gone to Strixhaven. You've seen some absolutely wonderful you go to Quandrix campus and the stained glass windows literally dance. They move, shift, and change.
That's fair.
Everything's gonna look a little underwhelming now.
That's fair.
But eventually the woman, you're invited to a side room that looks like it's probably for the clergy or whoever high priest lived here. This appears to kind of be a private study. And there, standing before you, is a woman with white hair.
Oh my god. Is she single?
Maybe. Again, ignore all of the dead things in the window behind her. That's not happening. I didn't notice that in the artwork until right now when I pulled it up really big.
It reminds me of that cheap window cling stuff you can get at Halloween time to put on your mirrors in your own windows.
Oh my god, yeah. Okay. It really does look like that. Okay.
I had a skeleton I was supposed to put in my car window and I forgot.
How dare.
No.
She looks at you all.
I guess it'll be next year.
I hear you were sent by Eloise, correct? Are you journeying north? Not many cross paths with her, unless they're coming to the front for a reason. What brings you here? If you passed Eloise, then I can only guess your intentions were good. No? My name is Thalia. What are yours?
Okay.
Evelina.
Hester?
Then she looks at Ryza pointedly.
Ryza?
I was not aware that your name was under question, but nevertheless, I will take it as a truth. She has a little bit of that uptight vibe to her. But you have a feeling it's probably because she's just managing quite a lot. So it's kind of just, it manifests as just extreme OCD. Many of you don't necessarily look like natives to this country, and you don't speak like natives either. What is your purpose here? You're quite... well, you came with a decent carriage, and she gestures at you all who are pretty well equipped. Like, you have a beautiful mace hanging on your hip, Ryza. Like, it's, you seem more well off.
A gun.
Yeah, you seem more well off than many of our locals, than many of our noblemen, honestly.
Ryza's just kind of like in her head, like, "Oh, you don't know full extent."
Ryza's like, "You don't know the cost of that mace."
Do you want it? No.
Do you want it?
I am a native of Ansara, and these are my close friends. And we're here because we are hoping that we might be able to help.
Very well. I'm not going to turn away a helping hand, and considering you walked here in the sunlight, you're not vampires. Though I suppose you could be charmed by them. But she just looks you all over. Again, you came from the other direction, and we have record of you coming from the other direction. She clenches her jaw a bit. She releases a grip on a blade at her hip that you didn't necessarily realize she was gripping. She paces a bit as she speaks. We, quite frankly, are barely holding our own. What do you bring? What are your specialities? How can we use you on the front lines? I'm assuming you're fighters, no?
To a point.
Well, we need to be.
Carly's face.
Yeah, the 2-foot-tall owl. You're fighters,
Sure am,
right?
bud.
She turns to you all and just looks rather exasperated. Look, I'm not here to play games. Either speak plainly and concisely, or stop wasting my time. Are you here to help? Are you not? What do you bring to the table?
We're here to help, but we don't know if that help is going to come as support for your front lines. To be fully honest.
Care to explain? Care to elaborate?
We're here to see if you might be able to offer any information as to Rarthia's whereabouts.
Well, she's at the Faust Manor. That's where she's been based this whole time.
And do you have any information on her movements besides her base?
From what intel we've gathered, and it is unfortunately more slim than I would like, she has not left the castle in quite a while. Originally, she was out amongst her people, but as our conflict grew, she became more and more reclusive. Now she works almost exclusively through her generals.
And which of them is currently leading the front against
That would be Felsen.
against your...
Felsen is currently at the front. An annoying fool of a man, but a equally talented. What is your interest in Rhaetia?
I mean, she's behind all of this, isn't she?
Well, yes. But if you think you can go for the dragon's head immediately, well...
No, the dragon is a whole other threat, I do believe.
It was a figure of speech, but I see you're well aware of that newcomer to the fray as well. I bet the smoke outside gives you a good inclination of where he currently is. I would be lying if I said he hasn't actually been mildly helpful. Obviously, we haven't communicated with him, but he started burning the front quite thoroughly. We quickly withdrew our troops, and for the past day, he's been keeping the vampires at bay, all on his own, allowing us to recoup. It's probably going to allow us to keep this position much longer. I only hope he doesn't grow hungry.
I wouldn't lean too much on that dragon if I were you.
No, the forces of nature. It's like using a storm. It's just as likely to hurt you as the other. The key is to be strategic about it.
Good to see that you are aware.
She taps the stone wall. Luckily, our fortifications are less flammable than our opponents. But yes, metaphorically... Sorry, continue what you were saying.
Have any of the other generals been spotted outside of Faust's manor?
Well, as Rhaetia became more reclusive, Tharm started working as her mouthpiece. But he rarely leaves her side. He simply steps out to issue her proclamations and then returns. As far as Faust himself, Varian has made himself quite popular amongst these conquered territories. He goes to all of the recently acquired locations, and, well, we believe he's the one turning most of the military. Or, at the very least, playing the political game of getting those who haven't been turned on the side of their new overlords. Falson is leading the actual military. Once the image loads, you'll see it there. He's been leading the actual military, and he's probably the most stereotypical vampire of the lot. Narcissistic to a fault, and wickedly cruel. The last general of hers has not been seen in quite some time. I cannot tell you where Glimmer is. All I can tell you is there are mixed reports of her being either deeply into our territory or milling about in her own territory. It's quite frustrating, I take it your targets are the generals.
More or less.
You can't go for the dragon's head if you don't first deal with the claws. You'll have to breach the front line. Good luck. After all, there's not only vampires, there's also a dragon. I may have an alternative for you, though. I've been building a specific strike team. Unfortunately, my first attempt was met with complete and utter failure. You may not be able to aid us on the front lines, but perhaps you can do something more clandestine. What if I told you I could get you to the Faust Castle in a day? You know it's a multiple week, like, it's a week journey to get there, right? Like, it's pretty much as far as you guys have gone. That's probably about as far north as you have to keep going. Yeah.
How?
Well, no small part of skill and self-assuredness on your part. I can show you the door, but only your tenacity will make you get there. I can explain, but before I do, I want to know everything. She raises an eyebrow at Ryza, who was very clearly being suspicious.
Ryza? Question mark? Couldn't be.
Rise is like, you look like the vampire.
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly, this artwork is not helping her.
You telling me that's not just fan art of Alucard from Castlevania?
Oh my god.
Bro, that's what I was thinking. Like, that looks like Alucard. They're both sexy.
You're absolutely right. You should say it.
Like,
I can find
All right.
another artwork of her. Let me see.
I love
This works
it.
out. This works out.
So
actually,
this is a character from Magic. There's a character named Thalia that
Yeah.
I'm using her artwork, so it's
Yeah.
actually easy to find.
She looks like a badass.
Yeah, she
No, I
is.
love it.
You can show us later
So-
if you want.
Yeah, I can show you guys later. That's fair. I like this artwork because it gets the vibe I'm going for more.
Mm-hmm.
So Rise is gonna look at her, realizing that she meant her because of the way she
Yeah.
introduced herself. So Rise is gonna say, it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's just when I see someone so attractive, I just lose sense of myself. I'm so sorry. You're a very beautiful person."
Are you lying? Like, are you
this is
playing?
genuine.
Okay, this is genuine. I love that.
That's so real.
Please-
Ryza, more like Riza.
Yeah, fuck. Roll me a. Roll
That'll
me
be all.
a.
Performance.
No, because you're not lying. Right? No, but you're proficient in performance. So go for it. Just a proficient charisma check, whatever that is. So performance.
I apologize for the bad joke. I'll show myself out.
No, it's great. Don't apologize for being truthful.
That's all I
Yeah.
had. Yeah!
What was it?
So it's this. Is it plus this too? No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, then it's just it's 10.
Okay. I mean, that's just average. 10 is the average roll. So, she'll believe you.
That's fine.
Oh. Well, thank you.
You are most certainly welcome.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
And she's gonna wink.
Oh my god.
Telling it.
Can we tell how old this lady
Incredible.
is?
Yeah, you can. She's probably about 30.
That's fine.
Oh, cool.
Like she's that kind of age where she could easily be in her 20s, but she carries herself like someone who's seen a lot more of the world than like a 20-something-year-old. So she's probably in her early 30s, but who knows? She could be a lot older. She could also be a lot younger and just beaten down. Right?
It's hot either way.
Sometimes it be like that.
Yeah, honestly.
It do be like that.
God, there are so many artworks of her. I forgot how many.
Show us later. Show us later.
Oh my
It
god.
only adds to
Don't
the
worry about
hot.
it. Show us later.
Yeah, I entered a rabbit hole. I like started
no.
looking it up, and I'm like, oh my god.
Just all we need to know
Wow,
is
you have
pretty
trauma?
lady.
I have trauma. This week, it's my friends.
So she just looks at all of you still. She's like, still expecting answers, it seems.
Hmm.
Oh.
Look, I'm going to be putting a big gamble on you all. I need to know that you're people I can rely on. I'm going to give you what is potentially our greatest advantage. I need to make sure you're worth it. You're worth the potential danger. Understand?
When you say everything, what is it that you need to know about us to trust us?
Well, I can't rightly know, if I'm being completely honest. What do you think you should inform me of?
Well,
How about this? What brings complete strangers to the front lines in a very hard to get to empire, fighting an undead menace? What motivates a bunch of school children to do that?
Astrid laughs in the back.
Friends is gonna be like, "Ugh."
I'm
like,
sorry,
"Oh,
was there
sorry."
something funny I said?
Just the children part.
I'm just flabbergasted. You see me as a child?
She just does a slow blink at you, and then turns
Yes.
back to Kaerthna. I think you understand why I have a healthy level of skepticism.
yes, that's valid. Well, like I told you, I'm from here, and this group here are my friends, and they're here with me because not only am I from here, but Raerthia is my sister.
Good. I was wondering if you were going to be honest with that, or if I was just going to have to, well, take matters into my own hands. So,
If you already knew, what does it matter if I told you?
knew. It matters because... Sorry, I lost my train of thought. She had a good response. Fuck, hold on, let me restart that.
Take your time, take your time.
I know, fuck, it was so good.
Whoa.
It matters because if you are truly here to help us and not her, well, the first step in showing who your allies are is honesty. You have power for both sides. But I take it your goal here is to find a way to cure your sister, return her to the kind herbalist healer she was before.
If it's possible.
It's possible.
And if not, it's to end her reign.
Roll a persuasion, because you're not lying. But let's see how believable you are. Here's another artwork of her. This one's black and white, which is fun. It's like a sketch kind of thing.
Ooh. Nice.
Oh, that's dope.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That does,
Gives me, like,
that does have
Walking Dead vibes.
Castlevania.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
You rolled
What'd you say, Dylan?
Dylan, what did you say? Sorry, we missed it.
Oh, nothing. It's not important.
No worries. You rolled a 14 for persuasion. Let's see. Well, she rolled a 3, so good job.
Yay!
Good job.
You did it.
Yeah. She just kind of gives a curt nod. Be wary of freeing her. You could end up creating more problems. But I also understand that if there's one person to resolve this conflict, it's you. Which is why I was so willing to share this little shortcut with you. I figured even if you didn't end up telling me the truth, you were still my best chance.
How did you know the truth?
I do my research. You don't think I lead an entire army just because I'm good with a sword, no?
No, I bet you're super smart.
Jesus.
I love Thirsty Ryza. Here's another image, by the way.
It just
Oh
gets
my
better
God.
every image, man.
It really does.
I didn't
I mean,
originally go with this
goddamn.
image because it feels very like Black Widow in the first Avengers poster, where it's like, why is her butt to the camera? You know?
It's giving.
Sure. You're so right.
Who?
Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
Read Throne of Glass, Emerson, and get back to me. Do your homework.
Deja, we need to talk later. I didn't know you read these books.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I
We're in
do.
the middle of reading them right now.
Yay!
Well, I've read them.
Well,
But I'm in the
read
middle
them
of
now.
rereading them with him. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I can give book recommendations as well. I need people to read certain books I've read because I have no one to obsess with over them.
Fair.
And it's
Tell us later.
very problematic. I've tried to make Alexa read this book a lot.
I know. It's in my list, I promise.
It should be at the top of your
The
list.
TBR is pages long. Okay?
That's very fair.
It is at the
I
top
made
of
the
my list.
mistake
I
of
need
like
money
starting
first.
a Brandon Sanderson book, and then I'm like, oh
Ooh.
wait, it's a 50-hour like audiobook because I do audio because it works with work. I'm like, oh, it's a 50-hour audiobook. Oh, there's 4 books. Oh, okay. Oh,
We love
okay. Yeah,
We
they're
love
good,
that.
but they were a bigger commitment than I thought I was getting into. Okay.
We
So
don't
she
know.
she looks at you guys. The forest nearby harbors a secret. A crossing. Into the Feywild.
How is that better?
I don't know if there's a means out of the Feywild near Castle Faust. But the Feywild is a parallel realm. It runs alongside ours. However, it's a realm where time can be unpredictable. If you focus and have control of your emotions, senses, and composure, your will can help hasten the journey. But if you lose yourself, it could be much longer than just a week to get there.
Is this a fact you have proven yourself or a theory you have read about?
I want all of you guys to roll Arcana checks, actually. Because she's talking about the Feywild. Feywild is common knowledge, especially at Strixhaven. It's Feywild and Shadowfell are like the 2 outer planes people can go to.
Yeah, 6.
Cool. 6, 14, 17, and 13. So actually everything above a no, because 10 is average person. Unfortunately, only Evelina passes this. But
Well,
everything she said falls in line with what you know of the Feywild. The Feywild is the home of the fairies, the Fey, and technically the first home of elves. It is a land dominated by emotion. Whereas the Shadowfell is a realm devoid of feeling and effectively a depressed realm that runs parallel to the mortal world. The Feywild is the exact opposite of that. It's heightened everything. So the Feywild is not just happiness, it's elation. It's not just sadness, it's cripplingly like depressed. It's everything. It's only extremes. It also, in that sense, has an interesting relationship with actual spatial distance. A lot less so the travel distance. It may still take you about a week to travel in the Feywild. But you might pop out of the Feywild at Castle Faust and find out it only took you 5 minutes instead of 5 days. The Feywild is unpredictable, though. It's a thing of extremes. You're either going to have taken 5 minutes or 5 months.
This is perceived as an individual journey, right? Not as a together journey.
No, this is a team. You all can go. Yes. A crossing, you would know, is an area where the veil between the planes is weak. So a fairy ring is a crossing.
So our timing is going to depend upon all of our collective emotional control.
Yes, because the Feywild responds to those in it. That's exactly why vampires don't fuck with the Feywild, because they already have really extreme emotions. So if they go to the Feywild, they will straight up lose control and everything will go crazy. That's why vampires actually find themselves in the Shadowfell more often, because the dampening emotion field of the Shadowfell, that depressive feeling, can oftentimes normalize the heightened desire of the vampire and make them feel, quote, normal again. If the Shadowfell is stagnancy, the Feywild is evolution, constant change. But you know, the Feywild is a place that if you feel angry, you can literally spawn red caps, which are Fey that just slaughter anything around them. Right? So it's very dangerous, extremely dangerous. And it requires a lot of self-control if you are going to actually manage this. However, with so many people in your party, probably someone will be able to maintain control. But on the flip side, if one of you loses control to an extreme level, you could ruin it for everyone.
How fun.
So just as much as it's a helpful thing, it's just as hindrance. It's just, you know. But it is an alternative option. You can fight your way through the front lines, do the full stealthy thing, or you can go full fairy and just hope that you can control yourself for 5 days to get there. It has the potential of getting there with the least problems without confronting any of the generals, save whoever is in Castle Faust with her, and avoids the dragon. But again, let's say it takes 5 months. You could come back. You've missed the school year. You're now have to, you know, your new grade. Your sister has conquered the whole continent, or she's been pushed back and everyone's dead now. The person you came to cure might have already been slain, right? It has a lot of dangers, but if you manage to get through quickly, you also save thousands of lives. And there's no danger of your sister's forces knowing you're coming. The biggest problem, though, is that you will have to find your way out of the Feywild on the other side. There's a way in, but she doesn't know of a way out over there. But again, if time goes fast, even if you waste a week trying to find a way out, that could only be hours, minutes, days, whatever. So, cost benefit. I'll give you all a night to think it over, perhaps. It's a big choice. I hope you choose it, but I've already lost one strike team going in there. And I do mean lost. I don't know if they're alive. They're just gone. Keep in mind, Fae are a whole other monster. I don't have any experience with them personally, but, well, we've all read the stories. It's going to get dark soon, and that means the fighting's going to intensify. I'm going to get some units ready for the front line, just in case the dragon decides to take a break. In the meantime, I can have some of my men direct you to a local inn. Rest there, and in the morning we can discuss whether you take the Feywild route, or if we help smuggle you past the front line. No, both have their own dangers and benefits. I know which way I want you to take, but I also fully understand why you would be hesitant. It's a lot to ask of school children. She looks at Ryza. Are you not students?
While, yes, we are students, I also like to think of us as capable grown-ups.
Good. We need capable grown-ups for the Feywild. She
I'll
gives a
specifically
little
think of
bit.
that too.
She gives a little bit of like a side smile. It's the first smile you've seen on her face, and it's aimed just slightly at Ryza. The rest of you know she's probably playing with Ryza, right? Like trying to convince Ryza to do it, you know? Ryza, you're absolutely smitten. So you're just like, oh shit, God, she's so pretty.
Whew. It's an odd name
damn
to
it.
just you.
Here's the last artwork of her.
Oh my god.
This is fun.
Damn.
Right?
Okay, that's the most badass image you could show.
Right?
That's so dope.
Oh, thank God you saved it for last. I wouldn't have been able to concentrate.
Right?
My God.
Now you understand why Ryza is just so messed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's some good shit. Again, she's an existing character that's different than the one on our game, but like the vibes are the same. She's
Fair enough.
Mhm.
And the name's the same because I'm lazy.
That's fair. Names are hard.
Yeah, names suck. Thalia's a good name.
Less Fonda.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that on stream.
I
Yeah,
think you
okay, well
should.
now I kind of have to. I was running a game, it fell through, but a while back for Dylan and Deja, and there was an innkeeper, and I didn't have their name. And so they're like, what's their name? And I just sort of slurred, let's find out, while I was looking at my notebook to like find my name table. And then they're like, Les Fonda, because they thought that's what I said. And I was like, okay, yeah, actually, that's what their name is now. And
you know what?
it haunted me because that character became deeply relevant to the story. Way
Oh my
more
God.
than an innkeeper should have.
That's
Love him.
incredible.
You miss Les Fonda.
Yeah, he
Love him
also
to this
deeply,
day.
deeply despised Dragon Chess.
He also wasn't the innkeeper.
He wasn't.
Oh, shit.
became the innkeeper
Yeah.
just so he could ban dragon chess at this inn. Like,
Yeah,
Oh my God.
the inn
he
was
wasn't
like,
originally the innkeeper. He was just someone in the inn.
I
yeah.
respect that.
Yeah, but the inn was like obsessed with Dragon Chess. It was like where they'd do like the championships and stuff. So everyone acted like it was, you know, like wrestling or whatnot. They'd be like, oh, like screaming for it. And
Oh my
he
God.
was like trying to set up a trade deal because he was a trader and he just couldn't handle it. But yeah,
I can respect the hustle.
yeah. Okay, so back to
Nope.
this game. Yeah, so you guys are directed to an inn and you guys get a room. This is what I mean by when the other players come back, you guys could quite literally be like, oh yeah, by the way, we're in the Feywild.
That would be hilarious.
But
Actually.
we also can choose, if you guys would like, to wait to make that choice when we have more players or potentially in our chat, because we never have all of our players for the game. But we can also get started on that or sneaking past the front lines or whatever you guys choose to do. I do think you guys should talk about it though. So
Could we take like a quick our break now so we
Yeah.
can kind of talk about some of it?
Yeah, this session is going to be shorter. So let's take a break and then we'll have a hard stop at 10. But we may end even earlier than that, depending.
Should we do like a 10-minute break?
Yeah, can we do a 5-10 minute break if possible?
Mhm.
Cool. We'll try to be back by 9:12, 9:15. Cool. We will see you guys then. Thanks for playing with us, and we will be right back momentarily.
I love you.
Hey, I do think I snagged that I love you, but I hope so. I really do. We are going, you guys are in your inn. In your private room, you guys finally can kind of relax a bit. They're tending to your horses outside. You moved everything out of that carriage, and it's nice to have proper beds, even if the place is a little drafty. Or I shouldn't say drafty, it's just cold because they're stone buildings. But yeah, you guys finally have privacy to discuss if you want to take this potentially new route to get to Karithna's sister.
Bryce is gonna raise her hand, even though no one's gonna call her.
Bryce, you don't have to raise your hand.
Oh, sorry. I think it makes more sense for us to go through do the Fae, only because this might sound a little selfish of me, but I just think either way, I'm not in a good spot regardless. So I feel like if we can get there faster, that's probably best for everybody, including myself.
Well, we're
Them
still
just being
traveling the 5
fair.
days through there still.
Faster.
Yeah. Time will be, that is something I want to specify. Time will be the same for you guys regardless. It's about time when you come back.
Exactly.
It is possible, and I will say it is possible for you to lose track of time, right? Like get in some enchantment and not realize you've been in this maze for a month, right? So like stuff like that can happen. But even then, you could cross back over and still have that month of time for you be a week, right? But yeah, just I wanted to specify that. The path may be shorter. That doesn't mean it's shorter for you guys. Continue.
I vote for you, the Fae.
Well, if we do, we don't have to deal with Ziator and the generals and potentially Turgrid. So
being able to bypass that much of those roadblocks, I think would be very favorable.
I think it
Dangerous
might
as
be
the
worth it.
Feywild is.
mhm.
At this point, it's just choosing which set of danger we want to face. This one just
I like
gives us
her
a chance of being faster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like her chances there. What do you think, Evie?
Then probably would be best to go to the Feywild. Plus, I've read some stories about the Feywild. Maybe I can remember some of them and see if there's a way to, like a common way to get out, or if they're all different.
I hope so.
That
I
could
think
work.
so. Yeah. And where I'm from, it's nothing new to me either, so I'm hoping to use my previous knowledge to help us out here. I think we got this. So, quick question, Emerson.
Yeah.
Are Syntax and Imogen like here, or like what's going on with
Yeah,
them?
they're all here. They're
So pressed out.
probably part of this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't justify them not, like I can't figure
No,
out
that's
what.
fine.
Maybe they like inhaled some of the crystal dust from when they blew themselves up and like
my
have a bit of a
gosh.
cold, or they
Oh,
like
God.
I don't know. We can make something up, but
I got it.
they are technically here. I just am not
So,
going to roleplay
Rise is-
as them.
Rise is just gonna look at both of them, being like, "Hey, so this is what we're gonna do, and you just gotta be okay with it, okay? Awesome." And that's it.
I love that.
Canon.
Yeah, I can't
Incredible.
argue with Risa.
No, she's thirsty.
Oh
my
for the pretty
god,
lady.
that's why Rise is deciding. Okay.
Rise got
Honestly,
her
you know
priorities
what?
in
I'm
order.
gonna give you advantage.
Yes.
Inspiration. Sorry, advantage is a different game.
That's fine.
I'm gonna give you It's funny because I can never remember advantage when I'm running that game. But yeah. Congrats, you have inspiration because you've really been laying on to this with Ryza, and I am all for it.
The commitment.
Yeah, honestly.
It's fun.
Hell yeah. So yeah. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about, or would you like to begin the venture?
Let go.
Okay.
I think the one thing you would be like, plus I can draw so many things.
Oh yeah.
Oh
You're absolutely
yay!
right.
I feel safer with you drawing now.
That felt very insulting, like even for me. Like I know that wasn't to me, but like
She
damn.
meant it though. Here's the problem.
Rice is
that-
not okay. There's a lot going on up here.
Yeah.
Dude, maybe
got
Rise
you
is the
doing
one that
Right.
really shouldn't
Yeah,
be.
when you said it's K, I really do think this time it might be Rye.
Woo!
I was gonna say it wasn't
Hey.
extra sass because you'd be like, oh.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
Honestly,
Rise,
that
I'm sorry,
has never
Amy.
been a better term.
Right.
You
Does
guys,
she like me?
you begin your. Well, you get a good night's sleep, not having to keep watch anymore. And in the following morning, you tell Thalia that you're on board for her plan. Oh, why, hello there, Jerry. I don't know how long you've been with us, but things are gonna go in an interesting direction. We'll just leave it at that. So,
I
Thalia...
just saw his comment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just got here. So you missed this lady. I'm gonna show. Yeah,
You
so
can
you
watch
missed
the stream.
her. But
Nah, show the first picture.
okay.
That's the one we've been working with this whole time.
This one,
Yeah.
this
And then the
one,
next one,
and
Walking
this one.
Dead.
Smash, yeah.
Smash.
That's fair. So
Too late.
Nope, you're
you
too
miss
late.
Ryza literally already called her a pretty woman to her face. So she leads you all into a forest. It's only her leading you guys. It's about an hour's walk, but I think it's best if we walk. Do keep... Oh my god. Do keep your wits about you, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Can do.
She walks ahead of you all in silence. Obviously, you guys can say things if you would like. Otherwise, it's going to be an hour of quiet, awkward walking.
This is a player question. So she said she was going to have us join a special strike team, but we are the
she
special
sent a
strike
special
team.
strike team, and they got lost.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yes,
She
so
was
we
going
were
to
her
assemble
second.
another, but you are better
That's
than
us.
anything she could come up with.
All right.
Damn.
Also, question for the DM.
Because I don't want to run any NPCs with you other than Xanther. That's why.
Oh my
I
god.
forgot he was here.
Also, you guys have
I
8
didn't.
people.
You know why? You know why I didn't forget that he was here?
Why?
Because we're going to the Feywild, and he is the son of the Sultan of the Fire Plane. So he has
Yeah.
at least some other planar experience or understanding
Like,
or knowledge.
I just forgot.
Yeah. I killed Xanther. Give us a better one. Oh.
No. I
Whoa!
love it.
Who knows? You guys could maybe leave this place you're going with someone else.
Oh my god.
Or without
Stop
people.
Maybe Ryza will die.
Stop it.
Oh my god. Ryza dies. The person who comes back is Wyza.
No.
Why is Why? Why?
Wah, Riza.
Stop it.
Why
You,
is
you
Fuck,
stop
now I
it.
have to make wah versions of everybody.
No.
I'm here
No, you
for
don't.
it, man.
only works with
It'd be
Wawa?
Wavalina.
Or Evelina.
Wombolina.
Wow.
Evowina. Okay.
Evelina.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Wilson
I was like,
versus
we're gonna be
Lakers.
done at 9:30. Let's
Oh
okay.
my god.
Look how well that went.
I know, maybe 9:40. You guys eventually make it to an interesting spring. This bubbling little spring seems to be more vibrant than the rest of the forest around it. The air feels slightly warmer, and there's the scent of moss as you get near it. Sure enough, as you circle it, it's maybe 10 feet across, but it's eerily round. And there's a soft blanket of moss for about a foot around it. Unfortunately, you'll have to get a little wet.
That's what she said.
I know, shut up.
Damn it.
She points into it. Simply dive in and swim down until it starts feeling.
Rice is gonna go first.
Okay, well, I didn't finish giving instruction. Well, she should be
You get
fine.
how this sounds a little iffy.
She should be fine.
Oh
The
my
water,
God.
as Ryza dived in, because you said you're going, you went in before she finished.
Oh my god.
You notice the ripples on the surface of the water seem to dissipate very quickly. It's not that it's thick or anything like that. It still looks like water, but the ripples settle out quickly. And this thing looks very shallow, but there's no Ryza there. It's like she dove into, a 2 foot deep little pool of water, and suddenly Ryza's not there. Ryza, you're in water. Water everywhere. What do you do?
This is the worst possible
Let's
start
see.
to this.
Did you hear what she said right as you jumped in?
Nope,
Cool.
didn't hear it. She just said dive in first, and Rice said okay.
Whatever you say, pretty lady.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, outside of the water, actually, no, I'm not going to say what the proper process is. I want to see what Ryza does first.
So there's water all around Ryza.
Yeah, it feels like you dove into a big body of water.
Can Ryza see the party?
No. Weirdly enough,
Okay.
there's just a faint light above you. There also appears to be faint light below you.
Ryza's gonna keep swimming down to the light that's down.
You're gonna go into the light.
Cool. Swimming down, you feel the pressure building as you're going deeper and deeper. Your ears pop a bit as you're definitely pretty deep. Right as your lungs sort of start to burn and you're like, that light doesn't seem to be getting any closer, all of a sudden, you notice going down seems easier. And then the pressure is alleviating. And all of a sudden, you're not swimming down, you're swimming up. You didn't change positions, but you're swimming up. And your face eventually breaks the surface of the water, and you are somewhere very different. Meanwhile, what I was going to say is you need to jump in and swim down until it starts becoming up.
Okay, Kay is going to follow after Ryza after hearing that and do exactly that.
Yeah. Again, right as your lungs are starting to burn, it flips, and you're swimming up.
I love Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, literally. Then Xanther's like, my babe's gone. I better go next. And then he gives like a little salute to her, and she's like, and to Thalia, we got this. We'll be your strike team. We'll strike so well. We're gonna. I better follow my girlfriend. Yeah, he's like, I better follow my girlfriend. He like jumps in with a thumbs up to Thalia. There's a little bit of a hiss as he jumps in. There's a bit of a fizzle. Who goes next?
Astron's purposefully going last to make sure everybody goes in okay.
Okay, Syntax goes, Imogene goes,
Imogene probably cannonballs.
Yeah, Imogene probably like strips out of the silk and like goes in just the like underwear. Who knows?
Astron picks up the silk.
Yeah. So yeah. And now it's just Evelina,
Evelina
and Astron left.
Guess Eva will turn to like, well, good luck and wish us luck. We'll do our best. She'll like do kind of like the thing where it's like kind of she fly like does the little twirl fly up
and then the dive. She does
the
like
dive.
Incredible. You're acutely aware as you swim that owls are definitely not built for underwater. No. You've never enjoyed swimming, I imagine. I feel like owls are the kind of bird that like does the like dust bath, you know?
I don't think she even has had like time or been able to like try and swim, honestly.
Does she not know how to swim? Hold on, this is I need to know as a character choice. Does she know how to swim?
That is a good question.
Astron, I hope you're ready.
If Astron's diving in after her, can she kind of see if Evie's struggling and grab her and go?
Again, as soon as people dive into the water, you don't see them.
All right. Well,
I would imagine, she would not have swim. She wouldn't know how to swim, but I would assume she would be thinking of like, I don't know how to swim.
That's fair.
Wait.
Are you?
She then hesitantly just kind of be staring down into the water.
That's fair. That's fair. You're just staring down into the water.
Yeah.
We won't say you dived in. If you can't swim, that's valid. You wouldn't just be like, here we go.
No. Should have thought about that. I was like, oh.
Go together.
You just feel a little like hand tug on the bottom of your shirt, Astron.
Evie, what is the matter?
I can't swim.
Didn't you say so? I help you. So cute. I'm sorry.
I can't swim.
I need that artwork. I need the 2 foot tall Evie tugging on the pant leg.
It's like a little kid like 3
with little wing floaties on.
Oh my god!
Write it down.
Alright.
So yeah, you pick up Evie and hold her under one arm.
Just footballer.
Yeah, football, rugby. I'd say is probably closer to size. And you dive in. Evie, you're holding your breath. Water sucks. You keep going deeper and deeper. Tightly. Yeah, the pressure is building, and again, feels terrible. It's getting all in your fur, except you don't have fur. It's feathers. It's getting all in your feathers.
Astron would telepathically talk to Evie and be like, "This is normal."
When the gravity switches, probably not as normal. But
no.
I know, I'm just being dumb. Eventually,
I would assume Evie would have her eyes closed, so I don't. You can't really tell like when you're underwater, right?
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell direction, but you do feel the building pressure.
Yeah.
And yeah, mainly Astron would be able to tell just because it becomes easier to swim up. But yeah, eventually you break through the surface, and everyone else is sitting on the edge of what looks to be a small lake. Again, kind of a stream just babbling away. the sight you see is something to behold.
Show us, show us, show us.
What? Ooh! I want to go to there.
And this
I'm
is
going to go there.
this
Wow.
is where we will leave off for next session.
Why is it
That's
so
so
pretty?
pretty.
Isn't it
It's
great?
Gorgeous. It looks like a fucking Disney
misleadingly
movie.
pretty.
Yeah, I found this artwork and I'm like, well, this is gonna be our Feywild.
Hell yeah.
This looks like it could be from your game.
It does.
Fake farm?
It kind of has Genshin Impact vibes, if I'm being completely honest.
That too. Yeah.
They love their swirly clouds, so you know.
I love
But-
swirly
That
clouds.
looks like
Yeah.
a storm.
It does.
So there.
But yeah, congrats and welcome to the Feywild. Your senses are dialed to 10. It's not just bright; it's the brightest sunlight you've ever been in. It's not just again, it's not like aggressive bright, right? It's just like you can see, it's clear, it's great. You were in an area that was very foggy. It's not anymore. It smells like spring in the best way. Flowers blooming, all of this beautiful things. Also, I lied. Technically, the sunlight is not that strong. The Feywild is in perpetual twilight. So I lied. This artwork's
Nice.
also a little bit of a lie, but it is the colors are this vibrant despite the sun being on the horizon.
Always.
Yeah, always. So yeah, congrats.
Now I understand the messing with time. How are we supposed to know 5 days have passed if we don't know what the frigging sun doesn't move?
And it begins.
What also is mildly noticeable is you knew which direction to go before you dove in the water.
Shit.
But unfortunately, you have to find some relation nearby that you can mark to the real world so you can get your grounds. Before we fully end, can I have everyone roll perception checks for me?
No.
Absolutely not.
Ah,
How dare you?
come on.
17.
It's been a rough roll day.
Oh,
It
fuck.
has. It really
God.
has been a rough roll day.
I had to use my dice.
I am discombobulated.
I am the greatest.
So what was our best roll?
I got a 17.
Thank God, because all of the ones on here, the best one is a 10.
I got a
I had
rock.
an 11.
Oh, I'm so sorry. An 11. Hold on. You see in the distance a large tree.
Love large trees.
But most noticeably is what's in the tree around it, and in that tree, and wait, that forest way in the distance. It's strange. There's something. I don't know why I said it with a weird accent. It's strange. Strange. It's strange.
Damn it.
For some reason, that made when you were saying that, you were going to say straw, and I'm like, oh!
There's buildings in the trees.
Oh, that's so cool.
I want to go to there.
You have
It's
a
like
feeling.
it's like a Ghibli movie.
You have a feeling that is the Feywild's equivalent of that town.
Oh my
Of the
god.
city you were just in.
Oh my god.
Looks like
So,
you have your
okay,
direction. Now it's time to get moving. And we'll stay there.
Onward.
Again, just picture all of this, but like in Twilight.
Mhm.
Because I don't have artwork in Twilight. But yeah.
In the world of Stephanie Meyer. Got it.
Oh my
Thank you.
god.
Thank you, Deja.
I mean, it works because we are doing a vampire arc, but I do
Totally.
hate it.
I was trying to work it in. It wasn't
I was
clicking.
Spider Monkey.
It was.
But thank you for joining us for our short session today. We will see everyone, unfortunately, not next week. I will be out of town next week, as it is a holiday week here in the States. I say for those viewers who are not in the I don't know, we have 6 viewers.
It's us.
It is. We will be back at it on the 28th of November. Until then, have a wonderful holiday, and just I'm excited, and I hope you're all excited for what has become a Feywild jaunt. Let's see if the party can maintain their composure. Until next time. Yeah, Imogene's gonna fuck it up for everyone.
I can see.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, this is dangerously a very possible TPK location, just because like the whole world is kind of an emotional puzzle, right? So like
Maybe we can level up to be prepared for it.
Nope.
Please.
Nope. You level up at the end. Yeah, you know what? Actually, here's
do what you want, Emerson.
well, I will say 2 things. First, you can level up now, but you will not level up after you beat or solve Rayerthia's thing. You'll level up after the school dance. Or you can wait and level up after Rayerthia's thing, and then level up again at the school dance. Thoughts? You'd rather wait?
I'll wait, but I won't be offended if anyone goes against me.
I vote against Dylan just to spite him.
That's fucking rude.
But yeah, so just in other words, it has been a long time since you guys have leveled up, and this is a big occasion, right? We can mark coming here as a level up moment.
We can talk about it after stream too. If you
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we can talk
can.
about it often then.
But yeah, until then, farewell. Thank you all, and have a good next 2 weeks.
Bye.